just gonna stay here and wait.
Good afternoon, everybody, and no one's talking over me. This is incredible. Oh, wow. Oh, wow. The last few, it's either been Pants or Phil or somebody starting when I'm screaming good afternoon. So, yeah, you can. Go ahead. Good afternoon.
Would you like me to make you feel more comfortable? Or
it doesn't make me feel comfortable. I start with a good, hey, what's going on, everybody? I'm like, well, I am supposed to be hosting and starting the show, so yeah, every so often we go a little insane.
I thought we found the natural rhythm of you start the show and I say goodnight at the end.
See, that's it. That's our natural rhythm. And now we have the big announcement is this show, since it was being confused with the other show, which is the produced newscast, they use the same little icon. We have our own little icon for this one to call it the Watch Party with Jim and Verbo. That's what the 6:30 show every night is going to be called from now on. So you're not looking at, well, which one's the live one and which one's the pre-produced one. On the pre-produced one, we'll have 2 newscasts going out tonight if my neighbor ever gets done cutting her damn grass, so I can finish the second one, which will catch you up on all the news from the last 3 days. Tonight, we're only going to go over the news from yesterday and today, because otherwise we'd be here for 5 hours.
Yeah, I don't think anybody wants that. I know a few of them asking for longer shows, but I don't think 5 hours is anybody's cup of tea.
Yeah, we've got, see, the weird thing is I had to record today's stuff, which is not very long. But all of the stuff from the 8th and the 9th is gigantic. So if you want a really long program, it'll be the newscast from the 8th and 9th. That's going to be at least, I think it's going to be 20 minutes. This one's under 10. The produced version is. So, yeah. And to bring everybody up to date, the day one, Verbo had a hot date.
With the neurologist.
Yes, but it was a hot date with a man who stuck you with stuff, and he stuck you.
Yes. He was, one could even say it was a little toxic.
Yes. You had this toxic, weird relationship with your neurologist, and, that's what happened. And at the same time, I had real food. I had chicken cordon bleu, I had mashed potatoes, and I had broccoli. And of course my body rejected it. So I was sick and you were on a date, so that was one night down. And then the power went out the next day, and that was another day down because I didn't have anything yet. And then the power went out again, so I didn't have anything from either day to actually have us play. So we've been 3 days without a show, and it felt weird trying to record. Besides the fact that for those following at home, I put the chair together and there's no squeaking.
Woo-hoo! Success! Yay!
And that's screwing me up because I'm used to, at the very end of every recording, I relax a little bit and you hear a squeak. And now there's no squeak, and I'm like, what the hell? I'm so used to that there's no squeak. It's like it's throwing me off. I may have to get a sample of the squeak from the previous, a previous recording, and just sneak it in here and there, just to see if anyone's listening. Because nobody's listening at all right now.
Well, I would. We have a whole 10 people listening, and we hear it. we hear the creaks.
There's no squeak, and Gothic Sparrow, we have to get permission from the homeowner, which is going to take some time. Yeah, pain in the ass. And, the headphones are in a box, and they're addressed, and they're ready to go to Rose. Unfortunately, we are cut off from the world right now, as the gully at the end, well, look, I'll explain it in one of these videos. The gully at the end of the hill is under 3 feet of water, which is about 40 feet wide right now. So we have suddenly a river cutting one of the two paths down the hill off. But it wouldn't have helped us anyway, because the Williamsport, the one that we go to that sorts all the mail, their parking lot is under 4 feet of water right now. So, yeah. It wasn't going to help.
It's almost like you have a moat. It's almost like you have a moat going on. And that's exciting.
Yes.
I like that. I do like that.
Yes, we're up a very high hill. Go ahead.
Do you have any animals like alligators, piranhas, snapping turtles? Any animals like that around in Pennsylvania that you could put into the water? Coax towards the water?
Canadian geese. The nastiest things on earth. Yes.
Yeah.
Canadian geese.
Yeah, maybe get a couple swans. They have clubs in their little wings.
And Parsons, we have not started the generator grift yet. We will make the point for a grift somewhere in here. I think it's either on this one or it's on the one for the 8th and 9th. But yeah, we lost a couple things in the my AV receiver in this room, which controls all the audio except for these tiny little USB headphones, which I hate wearing, but I have to wear for the show. It was attached to a uninterruptible power supply, and it still blew up. And honestly, yeah, I turned it back on after the second yesterday, and it won't turn on. And I look it up online, and it says, well, take the repair shop, but check your date of your warranty. And of course, my warranty expired 2 months ago.
Oh, that's nice. That's nice.
Yes.
Yeah, you seem to have not a great track record with these battery backup uninterrupted power supplies. Maybe you should go a different direction, because they seem to keep blowing up.
Well, the grift we announced for the one that's supposed to be for yesterday or the 8th, 9th was announcing that we want to put a a NAS together, a network attached storage, which can literally, it's got 5 hard drives on it with one of the hard drives. Everyone say hello to Olive, who just stabbed me pretty good. Hi, Olive. Network attached storage, which basically will go on the network. There are 5 drives, but only 4 are used because the 5th is a backup drive. So if any of the drives die, you can stick a new drive in there and get your data back.
Interesting. That sounds like a tiny gym server.
Yes, it is a gym server, and the one I want to get has 2 slots for expansion on it, where I can put up to 15 drives on it, and just back up all my video, all my audio, everything that I've ever, and we also have a home media server for stuff I've ripped off of the DVDs and Blu-rays I own. I actually own them, and they're filling the damn. They're filling my shed right now with physical copies as proof that I own the stuff and I ripped it myself. Anyway, all of that would go on to the NAS and then be a home server. So everything's backed up, plus all my documents being backed up there and to the web. I think it's double, double backup is the way to go. But it's expensive. So it's expensive.
Yeah, that is. A
Yeah.
buddy of mine had a system like that. He would he would build a little computer for me that I could remote into the database, and then I could
Right.
run it off my TV. It was fun. I liked it.
Well, the NAS itself is something like 600 or 700. And then the drives, the 22 gigabyte drives I want to put in it they're like $300 each. So it's going to be a while. It's a saving project, but eventually it
Yeah, that's a
will.
save up project. Yeah.
Yeah, it's something to do, and it's something that, I mean, it's come to it. And speaking of coming to it, we've been on for 13 minutes now, so let's go to our first story. How about that?
All right.
Our first grift, as Parsons will say. GoFundMe goose eggs for Friday. In an announcement that should surprise no one, it was goose eggs for Friday, as every known independent journalist with a GoFundMe failed to do anything to promote them, including our own campaign, which sits at goose eggs yet again. Our case has been special, as it's been a world of hurt for the past couple of weeks, and we've been off the air more than we've been on, as we're coming very close to level 1 monetization and have no way to push the channel over that edge because act of God with historical flooding kills power 2 days in a row. Yesterday, supposedly, a house floated from its foundation when the river it was next to literally overflowed and took it downstream a few miles north of us. We're in north-central Pennsylvania. It's hill territory, not at all flat land where situations like that should ever be a headline. We felt the impact of historic rain, and we lost power multiple times, with big ones coming on Thursday and Friday, when we lost power for most of the day twice, delaying the newscast for 3 days now, and causing me to lose my mind in the process as I started to catch up with things, only to have the power go out yet again. My mom left the house for supplies and dinner last night after power was restored, and a flash flood had taken out one of the 2 roads up the hill when she returned from an hour of shopping and getting dinner. She described it as 3 feet of standing water out of nowhere, and she had to go the more dangerous winding road to get home, which thankfully is all hills and offers no place to flood. Special thanks to Pope Phil and Hank for stepping in and hosting the Karen Reed coverage on Friday. Also a huge special thank you to a donor who stepped up to help when our audio-video receiver that powers the audio in my office died during the most recent power outage, despite being on a power surge protector and battery backup. It was an expensive blow, but come Monday we'll have sound again other than our dreaded USB wired headphones. For our part, even without power, we put out 8 news articles and gotten in good shape to do 2.5 newscasts today. Please remember, even when there's not a newscast or watch party, there will be updates on our website at reallycoolsite.org. Articles and news have been going out, and we're currently up to date with everything that has needed to be reported on for the past couple of days. Now, on that note, we're going to skip the spiel. We need to make up for the lost revenue and recover from the past couple of days. If you can help, please do, but don't put yourself out in the process. You know the links to our PayPal, Cash App, GoFundMe, and if you can help, thank you in advance. We'll be here tomorrow, hopefully, if I make it through another day of news and notes about the world of independent journalism. Take care, all. Yeah. The receiver itself was a huge blow, but thankfully someone stepped in for that. We've got some other issues going on, and we're trying to just get to the point where we can not have this happen again. I know the people wanted us to get a generator. Well, generators are expensive, so if you want to help out, you can. We'll put the money towards that, but it's not something that it's not like we're ringing the third plate, passing the third plate around today, but
No. And I just want to reiterate too that any money you give to any YouTuber should come out of your discretionary budget, your fun money, your
Yes,
entertainment fund, whatever that is for you in your budget. It should not have a negative impact on you. It should have a positive impact on you because you enjoy doing that. So if that's
right.
not the circumstances, your participation alone is wonderful. Give it a like, help out the algorithm, maybe share it with somebody. Those things are very, very important as well. And that's the
And to
appropriate contribution.
subscribe. Right now we're
Yeah.
pushing subscriptions because we're at 34 away. And I do have a bone to pick with somebody in this room.
Uh-oh. What did I do?
You finally subscribed to the channel.
I've been subscribed.
No, it came
I
up yesterday.
subscribed. Maybe I
You,
subscribed some of my other accounts.
no, it came up as Verbo Boss subscribed on Thursday. It literally came up with your name because
Yes, because
you were
Jim,
for
this is my secondary personal account that I use. I might have a personal account that I don't use for anything because I want it to stay
well,
pristine.
it came up with 465. That was you. You were our number
Yep,
465. We are at 466 now, but you were
yep.
465, and I was looking at it like, she hasn't subscribed? She's on the
No,
show!
you'll notice that they're two different screen names.
Okay.
They're only slightly different, but they're two different screen names. No, that's my original
Okay.
YouTube uh account, and the one that I use all the time is my second YouTube account, which is also very old. But no, I have
I
different
was
accounts
just...
for different things.
Well, it wasn't as weird as when BZ Watchdog and Michael Eline both joined, and, what's his name? Press of the Ranker. He joined as well. So... And these are all
Interesting.
I verified all the accounts, so yes, they all joined at different times. So at least someone's listening. As Olive just stabbed me again. Hi, Olive. Hi, wonderful. Yeah, we have a new thing coming on. I'm gonna put the receipt up. I ordered it. I ordered it earlier. We're getting a
Hmm.
dry bath spray for the kitties, especially little
That.
kitties like Olive who have matting and tangling issues. Who,
Hmm.
yeah, we've got
Yeah,
some
I just do
spray for the
short hair
tangles
cats.
coming. Yeah,
I love cats, but I can't do the long hair cats. The hair floats in the air. It sticks to lip gloss and chapstick. It tangles. I'm not into it. I'm
and
not into it.
yeah, it gets when you're naturally magnetic like I am, it gets in your beard. As I've woken up having a lot thicker
Cat hair in
beard
your
than I've
beard?
ever had.
Yeah.
Ever had,
I,
yes,
I think
yes,
that's the male version of lip gloss, and I just can't. I can't do it. I can't do it.
yeah. A few times because we have Olive, then we have the two black cats, Cooper and Bob, who are both black, who are both what do you call it? Long hairs.
Yeah, and I
And
live in the desert
Miss,
too. A short hair is better.
yeah.
It's just too hot.
Well, let's go on to our second story of the day. Wallace passport drama continues. YouTuber and sex tourist Floyd Wallace continued his passport drama on another edition of his live stream Friday night, where he announced he was looking to permanently live in a country outside of the United States. Wallace, whose choices of countries are limited as he has a felony conviction on his record, indicated that he was torn between Colombia and the Philippines due to the low cost of living and readily available sex partners. He did not backtrack on his statements despite previously saying he'd never permanently leave the United States. Friday night, Wallace was all in on his new fundraiser to raise the $276 he said he needed in order to get a replacement passport. He confirmed that he had abandoned his plan to have his fans pay pay for his round-trip ticket to Colombia, as he would pay for that himself, as long as his fans came up with the money for his new passport. Wallace grew frustrated as he received several questions with donations via Super Chat that did not count towards his fundraiser, with Wallace willing to answer nearly any question posed to him while directing his fans to donate to his Cash App instead of Super Chats. Super Chat donations were disregarded as they will not get to him until after the 20th of the month, and he will have a cut taken out by YouTube. While in the past he has said he was due a $2,300 check on the 20th, Wallace has made it clear that all funds for his fundraising efforts must come from direct donations to his PayPal or his Cash App accounts. The YouTuber pondered the future of his channel and said that he'd be going live a lot less once he implemented the changes he wanted to make in the future. It was unclear what changes he was talking about and why he would abandon new live stream features, such as his Tinder streams where he has his audience decide if he should swipe left or swipe right, or his learning Spanish feeds where he attempts to learn Spanish through an app during the live stream. Eventually, Wallace grew frustrated with the lack of progress towards his fundraiser and told his audience that if they started to donate, he'd go to a major area in the United States and cold approach women on a live stream. When that failed to spark donations, Wallace ended the live stream, promising to come back later to do a Spanish session. Wallace did not return Friday night. So there you go. In our upcoming broadcast for the 8th and the 9th, Wallace was looking into having his passport replaced because it was formerly waterlogged. It's all bloated and yucky, and it's full of mold.
Ugh.
Yeah.
Ugh.
And the barcode sticker on the back is ripped, and he wants to know if he should get it replaced.
Yes. If the barcode is ripped and it's bloated and moldy, he has to get it replaced. I hope he sniffed it a lot so he gets some weird infection.
Yes, because it is black mold. It's spots of black mold like you see in books that have been waterlogged. Yeah.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's dangerous.
Yeah.
Put it in a Ziploc and turn that back into the passport office and get a replacement.
Well, he's saying it's going to cost him $276 to get a replacement.
Okay, well, that's the cost you pay for being an idiot and not drawing your passport out immediately. I mean, there's an idiot tax in the world.
Dave is asking what's moldy, Wallace or his passport. Well, at this point, if he keeps touching his passport like he was last night, the night before, it might be both.
Serious. Disgusting.
Yeah, well, that's his fundraising effort right now. He decided that he'll pay for his ticket to go to Colombia, but his viewers must pay for his passport.
It's very interesting that he operates himself like a coin-operated machine. You put in a quarter, you get a result. And he expects that of the women that he's around. Like, it's an example I've used for years, but like, women aren't vending machines. Like, you don't put in a quarter and get a gumball out. You know what I mean? You put in some effort
Right.
and you might get a nice response. Hooray for everybody. Or not. Move on. It's bizarre because he treats himself like that.
This was the man who was bragging that he took his date on a pay-to-play date, if you know what I mean.
Wink, wink.
Took her to McDonald's, still was intimate with her, the whole thing, including his half of the meal in Colombia or the Dominican Republic, I forget which one it was, cost him $30.
I mean, you don't have to spend a bunch of money on a date for it to be one of the best things that you've ever done, right? The amount of money isn't in question, it's the effort. Put in a monicum of effort.
Yeah, he was getting whoopee. and McDonald's, and said that was the greatest date ever because he paid her and never had to see her again.
And listen, you want to you think there might be some adult time later on? Maybe don't stuff your date full of fast food. You know what I mean? Like maybe get some like
Remember,
tapas or something. Jesus
it's
Christ.
it's Wallace's policy on pay to play dating that they have their intimate moments first. So if the date
Oh
goes
God.
sour, he's already gotten his.
So she's nauseated and can't eat her meal anyway, so she doesn't order much.
Oh
Jesus
Lord.
Christ.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, he speaks out against American women, which he's sworn off for the 50th time because American women, you have to get dressed up, you have to take them out, and there's no guarantees whatsoever. No guarantees of
Yes.
anything happening.
Yes, that is how it is. Oh no. The terribleness of having to get to know somebody and perhaps care about their well-being, and if they're comfortable, happy, I don't know, would like to be there. Yeah.
Right.
Jesus
It
Christ.
is not counting on you for a green card. Yeah. There's
I don't
just
know.
little
There's a
things
lot of
like that.
reasons. There's a lot of reasons for people to get married, and love is not the only one, right? It's a contract, right? So sometimes there's other things in contracts. I get that, but like it's
Well,
ridiculous, and I think it comes back to how he views himself as a human moving through the world. He treats himself as a vending machine.
he acknowledges that in the United States he's nothing, but overseas he's the king.
Because he only offers one thing, and that's a potential visa, right? And for some people,
Right.
that is very valuable. It is worth their suffering to be able to get other things done in their life, which, here nor there, everybody has their different motivations for stuff, but it's
I mean,
like none of it's good. None of it's good. You have to like each
he
other.
he said he was getting paid by YouTube $2,300 on the 20th. So that's not from the foreign
Okay.
only channel, which barely makes anything. It's from his News Now, whatever it is he runs. That's the bigger
Right,
channel.
right, right. And for
That's
a
what's
lot of
gonna
countries, yeah, for a lot of countries, he can get like a long-term visa and stay there because the minimum income oftentimes coincides with like a social security income for people to retire to other countries at.
right.
So as
Well,
long
what I'm
as
saying is
yeah,
that's what's gonna fund 60 days in Colombia and maybe 30 days in Brazil. Because he wants to be in
right,
Brazil for his birthday, which is something like November 17th. I mean, December 17th. December. Sorry, I didn't mean to scare the wrong group. But yes, December 17th, I believe it is. And he's turning 28.
yes, Mustard. We're talking about Floyd. Yep,
Floyd, who had a new
yep.
live stream, which I have to watch after this, if I ever get these news articles done. The reading
For
of the news
you.
articles done. Yeah.
So glad
So,
I don't have to watch Floyd. His spittle
on
and
that
his
note, and
ugh.
his yeah, somehow he licking his fingers while he's eating. That's the
Oh,
worst. That's
God.
that's.
Oh,
He's
God.
like, how can you guys hear
Stop.
me? I'm chewing with my mouth closed, and I'm like, oh God,
It just
oh
the
God.
flecks of spittle on his like lips and chin just it gives me the ick
Uh,
to a deep place in my soul that I can't get over.
well, let's go to a deep place in your soul with this next story. In Pink rally at Reed hearing. Groups dressed in blue and pink converged on Norfolk Superior Court in Dedham, Massachusetts on Friday as a motions hearing was held to determine if charges should be dropped against Karen Reed, as supposed new evidence shows that the jury, despite not rendering a verdict, acquitted her of second-degree murder. Inside the courtroom, defense attorneys argued that at least two of Reed's three charges should be dismissed, as the jury reached unanimous decisions to acquit Reed of the charges, and no one believed she hit John O'Keefe with her car. Offering no proof or affidavits from jurors they claim that made those statements, the defense argued that even though a mistrial was declared, the judge would be committing double jeopardy by trying Reed again, as clearly, they claim, the jury found her not guilty of two of the three charges. The prosecution countered that the jury had multiple opportunities to come back with a verdict and, after 5 days of deliberation, did not come back with that verdict. The defense had the opportunity to object to a mistrial before it was granted, and without a verdict there was no indication of an actual decision rendered by the jury. Offering a mix of coverage from inside and outside of the courtroom, Aidan Turtleboy Kearney insulted and degraded members of the Blue Camp who were there supporting John O'Keefe's family and the prosecution through tweets. Kearney bragged that Pink represented good and Blue represented evil, and that the size of Pink's crowd overshadowed Blue's crowd by a good margin. He then pointed out his nemesis, Kate Peter, who was drinking a beer at an establishment well beyond the range of his 100-yard protection order against Peter. Instead of expressing fear of Peter, he insulted and degraded her, accusing her of day drinking, while lashing out at anyone else he saw who would be near her. On the Blue side of the street, Peter live streamed for nearly 2 hours, focusing on the growing number of people showing up to support the family of John O'Keefe. Peter filmed press interviews where members of the Blue movement expressed concern about the relentless attacks from the other side of the street. Peter filmed at least one person being interviewed explaining that relentless attacks by the other side include leaving negative reviews for and contacting the workplaces of those they can identify on the Blue side. Peter herself recently released a written statement by Sergeant Cawley of the Dedham Police Department of what he witnessed when Kearney attempted to have Peter charged with violating the protection order he has against her, despite Peter being immobile and Kearney approaching her and contacting the officer. Kearney is attempting to use the incident to have Peter's bond revoked in her felony witness intimidation case. Judge Beverly Cannoni did not rule on the motion to have charges dismissed in the Reed case. She stated that she will rule on the motion later this summer. So yeah, a lot more Blue were there yesterday than the last time we saw him. It was close, at least from one side of the street it looked pretty close in numbers.
It did. And it was nice to see the family more represented, see people that associate themselves with the family and those associated with the case. So it was an integrated group. It wasn't just randoms from town, which are a great support, but it was integrated portions of who supports that family, and those associated with it. And so it was nice to see a united front. So it wasn't so one-sided and upsetting.
And them having to walk through a mob, basically, like they had in the past. Especially when Aiden would be
Right,
out there with
yeah.
his megaphone, booing them and insulting them as they walked in. I mean, he forgets his
Right.
own bad behavior when he's
He
calling
really
himself the
does.
award-winning journalist and all that BS.
I think regardless of where you stand on whether or not she's guilty or not, booing the mother of the decedent is not a great look.
Yeah,
Regardless, it's not a great look, because in the event that she is incorrect and they are right, which I don't think so. I don't hold that position. But let's say that she is incorrect, they are right. Um, that's still a difficult position to be in and come to that realization. There's been many cases over the years where the family supported the person that, was responsible for the event, and then they have to reconcile with that later. So no
right,
matter where the mother falls on the spectrum of what the truth is, he still treated her poorly. And that's not great.
right. No, it's
That
not.
doesn't show
And
integrity. or
A-
compassion or sympathy. None of that.
And this whole bullshit of good versus evil, when Karen Reed is supposedly representing good, that's a hard thing to accept. Karen Reed good. Okay. I mean, my God, she was
I
doing
Yeah,
appearances last weekend,
and they're
to
yeah,
greet
that
her
weird
fans and all
mobile.
this bullshit. Yeah,
Yeah, I think it's a strictly a PR move to use emotional language towards legal proceedings because there is no good and evil and bad and good. There's legal and not legal.
right.
Morality and legality don't, like, the Venn diagram overlaps a lot, but they don't fully overlap. There are gaps of things that are, that are just not memorialized in our laws. Uh, you might not like it, but it is still legal, right? So using that emotional language is just a spin. It's a spin doctory kind of thing. Doesn't have
Now
any bearance or weight.
that sets us up for we've got a couple of things going on this weekend. First, tomorrow night we'll be back at 6:30 p.m. Eastern, 5:30 p.m. where it counts, 4:30 p.m. Mountain, and 3:30 p.m. on the West Coast. But at 8 o'clock tomorrow night, instead of tonight's All-Star panel, tomorrow we're going to have an All-Star panel, and it's a non-auditing topic. We'll be going over the
Hmm.
recent events concerning the Conjuring House, the same Conjuring House that is the basis for all the movies, and a controversy between the owner of the house, who is essentially going insane, and various members of the ghost hunting community. Now,
The
despite what you may think,
paranormals.
paranormal community, yes. We're going to have a talk about a video that circulated, I guess, yesterday, where this woman is getting nuts and she's saying it's supernatural, but even the paranormal people are like, you just crazy, miss. You just crazy. So we're going to take a look at it. It's a dry run of maybe some stuff we'll do in the future. And, the video was so odd that I just wanted to talk about it with our panel. So tomorrow night, 8 o'clock Eastern, 7 o'clock where it counts, 6 o'clock in Mountain Time, and 5 o'clock on the West Coast, we're going to have a panel discussion on a spooky Sunday. What do you think, Verbo?
Ooh. I think it sounds fun. I think it'll be interesting to discuss what her motivations might be. Is it paranormal? Is she legitimately, losing her marbles? Is it a PR move? There's a lot of different possibilities there. It's a little bit different content, a little bit of variety. We'll see if the audience enjoys that. Do they enjoy participating? Do they like the discussion? Do they like the change up in material? That's a discussion
Right.
within itself. And I like spooky stuff, so spooky and weird is right up my alley. So yeah, bring it. Sounds great.
Yeah, I mean, she is claiming that she was destined to be the owner of the house, and that the spirits have told her to fire certain employees because the spirits say they were stealing, yet there was no proof of anything missing. So, yes, the
Sounding
spirits say.
Winchestery. Sounding very
Yes,
Winchestery to me. Yeah. Okay.
yes.
All right. All right.
Yeah,
Yeah.
this has been
Sure.
going on, I guess, for a couple of months now. She started to fire staff, and seeing that this house is the basis for all the Conjuring movies and all that whole series, I mean, it's an important house in the paranormal community, not just because she rents it out so everyone can go ghost hunting there, but, it's at the center of a lot of controversies and stories and all that. And thankfully, it's not like Bobby Mackey's the bar that everyone's gone to, which is currently condemned, and I don't know if it's been torn down yet or not. But yeah, they let that thing go to hell. Literally.
I would note. that I haven't seen the Conjuring movies. I don't
No, you
watch a
don't
lot of
have to.
horror, but
Yeah,
just like a 2 minute recap of what the Conjuring movies are might also help us understand what her whole like scheme, with owning the house and renting it
yeah,
out and all that kind of stuff.
yeah.
Because
The
if I
Conjuring
haven't seen
movies.
it, well, Rose does like horror. I don't know. It's a crapshoot if Rose has seen it or not, and I definitely haven't seen it. So
Well, the Conjuring movies are like pro wrestling. They're not. They take the basic story and go to Mars with it.
okay, so
The
it's not like the pea soup head one or the
The Exorcist.
Amityville
Yeah, yeah,
horror, the Exorcist or the
yeah.
Amityville horror where it's based off of an actual story.
Well, yeah, yes and
Or
no with Amityville Horror. There's stuff to that we can get into tomorrow night.
yeah, but
But
there's an actual house and people and they said stuff. Whether it's true or not is here nor there, but
yes,
like
there
there's
was
actual
there.
people involved.
Yeah, with the Amityville Horror, the only thing I can say is this happened in like 76, 77. And since then, at least 10 different people have lived in that house, and no
Hmm.
one else has had an experience.
Okay.
Just
All
saying.
right.
Just
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
saying. Just saying. If the devils were all forcing people out of that house, it wouldn't be on the market, with long-term people living
Ownership.
there. Yeah, ownership
Yeah,
for the
yeah.
past 40 years. So, just saying. Unless they are all, yeah. Speaking of, hi, Gia. I am not mean. I am fine. I am a nice person. I am a nice person.
What'd Jim do this
Anywho,
time?
I don't know. But she's saying I'm a mean. We're at 44 minutes. Let's get out of here because I do have 4 more news stories to read before I can get the newscasts out for tonight. So, folks, thank you for being here. Remember, tomorrow night we will be on with this again. Tomorrow night at 6:30 p.m. Eastern, and then the Spooky Sunday at 8 o'clock following up. So far, we have Verbo, me, Pope, and Rose, and we'll see if Pants can make a special delivery for some people. So, any last words, Verbo, on that disturbing note?
Right, yeah. My brain just kind of stopped there for a second. I did not know how to take that. I'll see y'all tomorrow for a spooky Sunday. Woo!
And this newscast. So remember, we're still on the air tomorrow.
Yes,
Anyway,
yes.
on that note, let's hit the closing music.
Good night.